guys, today we have something special. Anna and I are traveling the galaxy in our very first ever Outer Rim episode for Roundtable Pod Racers. Woo!
Yay!
I'm your host, Julie.
And I'm your co-host, Anna.
And our first Outer Rim episode, which by the way takes place on the Outer Rim planets of other geeky fandoms, will be about Stranger Things. If you couldn't tell from our first edition Dungeons and Dragons and our dice on the table.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too. Let's talk about our setup.
Yes. So, I really didn't have much this time.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought stuff because I mean, if it's not Star Wars, it's like,
I want all of the Stranger Things pops.
I know, me too.
We're just really focused on one thing right
now.
now.
Too much money. Okay, but my contribution is all-star because I have less. I have the Millennium Falcon, which I wish I had the freaking Lego ones they have in the show. I have always my companion Filoni.
And I brought Pugwardy today!
Yay!
He's back!
And in Ryan We Trust sticker from Black Series Rebels, which is amazing.
Yes. Super, fitting sticker for what's been going on the last 2 days. We have the first edition player handbook from Dungeons & Dragons, my countless of D&D dice sets, and Ash from the Evil Dead, because the Evil Dead posters, a tiny little 11, and Michael Myers, because Max wears that in season 2.
And my stickers.
There you go. And I think that's it, right?
Yeah. Super cool.
And we also don't have our laptop or iPad today because we're going back in time.
Old school.
So what are you wearing?
So this time was fun trying to look for stuff.
Yeah.
And I was excited when I went to Target and found this shirt because I'm a huge E.T. lover. So this was just perfect when I saw this shirt and I was like, yay! So it's from Target. It has the little boys on their bikes.
And 11.
11. And it's just retro and I love it.
I'm wearing a Hawkins High School Go Tigers shirt with Go Tiger sweatpants, actually. It's a whole little set.
Yeah.
Very comfortable. From also Target. And I really like this shirt. It's comfy.
And I have to throw in my Porgs R2D2 pin.
Of course. Oh yeah, I'm wearing a D20 on my neck.
Nice. So, those are our outfits.
Yeah. So on to news. So.
Oh my goodness, so much.
Yeah. Since this is an Outer Rim, we're also gonna be other geek news a little bit, but just starting with Star Wars because that's our niche. So, would you like to?
Rian Johnson trilogy.
Finally.
So I'm super excited.
Ryan, we trust.
Yes, I'm super excited. They announced yesterday that he is having his own trilogy.
That's gonna be something completely new, so it's not most likely gonna have to do with the Skywalker family.
It's a brand new black canvas. It's gonna be really cool and they're super excited. So.
Any thoughts?
I'm super excited even though I'm a little nervous to
what is it gonna be?
What's it gonna be about?
I really hope I want it to be Old Republic. And if it's not Old Republic, I want it to be something that we have not seen at all.
I want something new.
You want something new?
I want something completely new that we haven't seen before and maybe throw some Easter eggs and stuff that we've seen.
The only reason I want Old Republic is because, it doesn't have to be Old Republic. I just want Revan to be canon.
Oh.
So I want them to it doesn't even have to be a story about him, but I want them to, tie it in there a little bit.
Okay. Well, let's see. I know I haven't watched any trailers for The Last Jedi, so I don't know what to expect from Rian Johnson.
I have faith in him.
But I'm pretty excited because I'm really excited about The Last Jedi, and I guess after we watch The Last Jedi, we'll be
That's when we'll be alright, we're good with him.
Yeah.
Or oh, he sucks. Which I don't think so.
No.
He was very nice.
Yeah, he was super nice. And what else?
So with that, there's also a possibility of a new live-action show on Disney, which will follow Rebels once that sadly ends. Not ready for that.
We're in the season finale.
I know. I'm a little worried for a live-action Star Wars Disney show.
Yeah.
Because live-action Disney TV tends to be, more kiddie. And, like, they get away with a lot in Rebels being dark for a kid's show. So, a little worried, but, you know. Also, like, well, how are the effects going to be every week? I mean, and like, are they going to have a Game of Thrones kind of quality? I don't know. But, you know, it's going to be a thing.
Yeah, I'm a little worried, but also about fighting. I'm like, if you're going to throw Jedis, how are you going to fight? Like,
how are you going to kill?
Like, is Ryan Park back? Like, I don't know. It's like Bray Park. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've always wanted an live action show, so let's see.
So
I'm hoping for the best.
Or maybe like a mini series. That'd be cool too.
That'd be cool.
Battlefront 2 came out, and I've heard it's awesome so far, and I'm really jealous that I don't have it yet.
I know, I really want it.
I want it.
And then her universe has beautiful new lines, starting with the porg line that we saw some behind the scenes yesterday, and then it's beautiful with the ones in the little pocket.
I actually have the Our Universe porg line that Box Lunch was selling. It's just the gray t-shirt with 2 of them there. Super cute, so I really want the matching cardigan that has them. It's adorable. I'm so ready for my porg face.
I can't wait. And then she has a brand new Doctor Who line.
Yes. Which ties into the fact that we've seen the new Doctor Who outfit. Yes.
She looks beautiful.
She does.
I want the whole outfit.
We all do.
Yeah. And then the last one is there's a new AR video game for Star Wars that came out. I think I saw some videos yesterday, and the lightsaber looks incredible.
That must be so cool.
Yeah.
I want it just to be in a room with Kylo Ren.
I want to see how the fighting and the training is compared to like what we do.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's what I'm interested in. I'm like, do they use stuff that is based on like
actual Star Wars lore?
Yeah.
Like I remember in Rebels, Anakin. There was like a hologram of Anakin teaching like, oh, this is move 1.
Yeah, with Sabine, Sabine and Ezra. Sabine learning with the black saber. She goes through the whole training, and we can see that, and it's like, oh, it's like what we do with our combat. So
super cool. I'm excited. So now I guess we move on to
our topic.
So we're in a new planet.
So now we enter the Hawkins planet. So our topic for this episode is going to be Stranger Things, and we are dividing it with age.
Yeah, we figured our usual layout wasn't going to work for this one.
It's too much.
So we're doing it based on character groups and the plot lines that go on between them.
Yeah, so we have kids, we have numbers, we have teens, we have adults, and the upside downers.
Yeah. Upside downers. Sounds like a fun drug.
Yeah. We're on table powers, it doesn't endorse us. We do not endorse drugs. Yeah, so let's start with kids, which is, I feel like,
the heart of the show.
Yeah. It's so awesome. And we saw a lot of character development with the kids.
A lot of stuff going on with this season and the kids. It was very different than the first season, I think.
Yeah.
They were all like a lot more like wholesome and cute and like, oh my god, we're on this adventure. In this one, it's like lots of sad, scary stuff. Like they've grown up.
Yeah.
Because of this stuff.
Yeah, I like how it started showing you how all of them are going through something. Mm-hmm. Like even though they started united with their Ghostbusters Halloween costumes, they were like, okay, you see, the first thing you see of Mike is like he's missing 11. He doesn't know what to do.
I literally like cried in that.
Oh, yeah, it's so
when he's trying to call her on the walkie-talkie,
and the number of days, and it's like, how long has it been?
Just like Finn's acting in that scene is incredible.
I feel like their acting in general got so much better.
The kids are almost better than the adults in some ways.
Yes. But he's so broken, and it's so sad to see him missing. Like,
but it's also really good.
Yeah. But it shows you like, okay, everything happened, and yet they're still not like they're still missing something.
And it's 11. That's what they're missing.
They're missing 11.
So a lot of but then with the absence of 11, we gain the presence of 2 new characters that we haven't seen. well, we have seen, but we haven't seen him interact too much. Will, and then we see Max.
Will's acting. I mean, we were talking about it. It's amazing. I was like, oh, what's he gonna do? Because we didn't really see anything the first season, and then it's like, poof.
Yeah, and he's just like everything from like the beginning to when he's like trying to hide things from Joyce to the end where he's like straight up possessed, and you see Will coming out. It's like, how do you do that?
I mean, the directors, even like both of the directors, well, 3 because I counted the Duffer Brothers as one.
As one person, yeah. Me
but they had to like really, really do so much for the kids to act so good.
Yeah.
Give a lot of props to the directors.
And they said that a lot of that, the scene in Beyond Stranger Things, if you haven't seen it, definitely do. It is super worth it. And it's pretty short. The episodes range from 12 to 25 minutes each. Not a lot. But one of the episodes, I think it's one of the last episodes actually, they're talking with the guy who plays Will. Totally blanked on his name. And they're talking about the scene where they're basically having like the exorcism right before the exorcism, when they're trying to have an exorcism in the shed in the backyard of the buyer's house, and how like they're all giving him like, oh, remember that time when blah 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 happened, and you see like they just did like a shot of it, of like the whole scene of just him like looking like he's like about to say something and cry, and then he's just like, let me go. And they all said that was purely him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't finished watching Beyond Stranger Things, but it's pretty cool, and you see a lot of things that you're like, oh, I didn't realize that.
And a lot of things that the characters speculate.
Yeah.
Like, apparently Will doesn't think that the slug that he threw up at the end of season 1 was Dart. Or anything like the Demodogs. He thinks it's something completely different. Lots of questions.
Let's see what happens.
So what did you think of Lucas and Max? Or Max in general, I guess.
Max was so cool. At first I hated her.
For the first
because I was like, no, this is 11 spots. What
yeah, exactly. Here? And then like, even up until the point where she was... I didn't really come to like her until she fully believed the kids. Like, in that scene when she's with all of them on the bus, I think that's when I was like, alright, she's cool.
But I liked her as a character because, if we think about it, this is something they kept secret, and then if you tell her that, and she's like, okay, dude, like, stalkers, come on, peace out.
Also, like, she was treated pretty shitty by the guys. Like, I don't know, if I was in her position, I think I'd be just as angry.
Yeah. Especially at that age, you don't want to, you're like, oh,
and you
get
just
out
move
of my
to a
face.
new town, and these people are nice to you, and then they're jerks to you, and then they're nice to you again, and it's like, whoa, make up your mind.
Yeah. But I love that she's the best one on video games, and it's the girl. Yeah. I really like that.
And I like that she ends up with Lucas.
Yes.
I'm happy that it's Lucas and not Dustin, surprisingly.
I thought they were so cute. That scene in the snowball was so cute. I really like it.
It was great.
Yeah. So much focus.
We'll talk about the snowball in full detail.
But I think Lucas grows up a lot in this show.
In this season specifically.
In this season, I mean.
He takes a different role, I think. Because in the first season, he's the one who's like speculating, like, oh, Levin's a freak. I don't know if we should do this. But in this one, he's kind of more like, yes.
And he's more caring. Like, he doesn't give up on Max. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to tell you something, but you can't tell anybody because I might die telling you. Mm-hmm. He took the risk, and it was pretty cool.
Even when he was about to get beat up by Billy.
Yeah. So, and what did you think about Dustin?
Oh man. So, we find out a lot about Dustin in this season. We find out that he only has a mom. We don't know where his dad is. When his mom was crying for the cat outside, I literally, like, cried. I never felt so, like, emotionally attached to a cat that I knew nothing about. But I think he made some interesting choices this season. But at the same time, Dart reminded me a lot of my lizard Mushu. So I totally understand where he was coming from.
Yeah, I love his relationship with his mom.
Yes.
It reminded me of my relationship with my mom, you know. So it was pretty cute. And that Dustin is the kind of character that I love, that he's himself with everybody.
Yes.
You know?
And I can't even mimic that.
And that was him doing it. Like, it wasn't part of the show, so that was pretty funny.
At all.
But I think he's always been the most into the science factor of all of this, so like it's always seeing that cool, because I'm the type of person that's like, oh, that's a cool bug, let me see it. And that's why I got slapped by a lizard when I was little.
Like one of my favorite scenes in season 1, one of my favorite lines by Dustin, when he's talking to the AV teacher on the phone, and he's like, why are you trying to close the gates of possibilities?
But I love his passion. I've always loved that about Dustin, and he's such a funny character, and he's trying to be someone he's not, and it doesn't work out at the end. I
think he's the true heart of the kids group.
Yeah.
Like, he's like the emotional one that like everybody's like. Oh.
And I feel like he's the leader. Like, at first I thought it was Mike, and it was mostly Mike in the first season, but
I think it still is Mike. I think he's taken a step back though, as the whole 11 thing, because I mean he's the DM. You know? He has to be.
But I thought it was Dustin's character. It was cute, like him falling into that dart thing was pretty awesome. For them to act with CGI was insane. That was pretty cool, and I love Dustin.
I do too. And then to connect it, his relationship with the new babysitter that we have. Steve.
I love that scene in the train tracks. That was one of my favorite scenes in the whole season.
I love that scene, and then the car scene, right when he's the one dropping him off at the snowball.
Yeah, and I mean, this is why we love Steve now. And we'll get into that, but that connection they have is pretty cool, because they're both looking for companionship. And
also, Dustin doesn't have a father figure. Or any like male role model.
And we don't know nothing about Steve's family.
We don't. Except that they went out of town one time and they have a nice house.
Yeah, and
that his dad would get really pissed if they found alcohol. But that's it.
But then we have like Steve's brokenhearted, and he's trying to look for that, and then he found it in a kid.
In the best kid too.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then the whole plot line going on with all the kids was pretty intense. The fact that we actually see like a possession story, but it's not really like a stereotypical possession story, because Will isn't like, it's not like The Exorcist where like a demon is controlling him. He's part of this new like hive mind, so it's different, and it's really interesting.
That's why I'm very
it's very alien-y. I know that they were going for a Cthulhu. There's a term for it. I forgot what it is, though, because I always forget. It's basically like the old ancient beings, and that's what a mind flayer is as well. And there's a whole game based on it, too. And it's like spooky. Eldritch Horror. There we go. That's what it's called. And that's exactly what like this season totally was. That's what the Upside Down was in season 1 also. It's totally Eldritch Horror. And seeing that possession scene with the tornadoes and Will, that was intense.
That was intense. And I love the visual effects. Like, it brought me back to one of my favorites, Spielberg, and doing like War of the World. Yeah. That scene with the pink and the red clouds and the ghost monster coming out for the first time.
With the it looked like War of the Worlds.
Whoa, I was like, this is awesome. And then you have like tiny effects like the tunnels, and then it brought me back to Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
So it was like, thank you for throwing the homage.
I also just want to note that at the end of season 1, while they finished playing D&D finally, the kids all say, what about the vines in the cave? What about the something princess and the lost knight? 11, Nancy, the cave.
Yeah,
like,
no,
all like
it was all there.
Yeah.
But I also love that we didn't mention it. The costume scene. I mean,
oh man,
we started with them being like, even though they saved the world in season 1, they're still the outcast.
Oh,
why? Yeah, they came to school. They're the only ones dressed up. And it's like, oh man,
and they were so excited.
Yeah, no, I was excited. I was so excited. I'm like, that's a really good looking costume. Like, obviously we love dressing up. It's like we know what it is to like every little detail.
Yeah. I remember like when I first started like being really into costumes and cosplay, like Halloween at school, I would always be like, what if I'm the only one in costume? That was like my biggest fear always.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I'm the only one in costume? Awesome!
Exactly.
More pictures of me!
But it's cool that we also see that, yeah, back in the 80s, that's really an outcast. And even though there's some like that are still in that category nowadays, it's evolved. But we go back to
being
like...
a nerd is cool now.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool to see them like, oh yeah, we're starting again as an outcast. But then we save the world again.
Yeah, and like nobody knows that we saved the world.
Yeah.
Which sucks because we're still the losers.
But it's pretty cool because they're also they're more confident this time around.
I think so.
So that was cool to see that even though they still feel like part of the outcast, we still have that confidence building up.
Mm-hmm. I really liked that as the possession story progresses with Will and he stays home with Joyce and all of that stuff goes on, I like that Mike kind of separates from the kids group and goes with Will. Because in season 1, we know that Will and Mike are like really, really, really good friends. And it's just really nice to see Mike with Joyce. Like, see that like they are really close because like Joyce knows her son's friends and everything. And that he's there for Will. And it's also really sad.
Yeah, I feel like he's the only one that notices at the beginning like, okay, this is just not PTSD. This is something more. Like, he needs this. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to tell you that, yes, it's going to be okay. We're both in this together. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you're not the only one feeling crazy. I think I see 11 all the time.
Yeah. And I like that they actually touched on the PTSD thing. That, like, that was an issue. That, like, maybe it's just that.
I loved it. I mean, I'm a psychologist, so
I instantly thought that, too. Like, I was instantly, like, this could just be PTSD. Like, you could twist it
and
like
it
that.
Started, I mean, I had a class recently talking about PTSD and OCD and the history of it. So, yeah, it all started in the 80s and nobody knew anything. And there was so much war talk and, like, veterans. And it was pretty cool to see, like, yes, that is what really happened.
Didn't they call it something else even in the show? And that's, like, what they called it in the 80s?
Yeah.
I forgot what it was.
It was post-trauma. And then,
post-traumatic, right? Yeah. It wasn't post-traumatic stress disorder.
It wasn't a disorder. It was like, oh, you have post-trauma. And it'll last a couple months, and then that's it. But no, it's a continuum. I'm going to go talk about
but it is, yeah.
But
so,
yeah.
like, they could have done that. They could have just twisted it, and, like, Will was crazy the whole time. Like, thinking about it, that would have been an insane twist also.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like, Joyce and Mike and all of them didn't even take a second to just, like, doubt him was... great.
Not even Hopper.
We'll
get there. My favorite.
Yeah, Hopper was also great. I don't know, man. Picking a favorite character in the show is really hard. It's like you gotta pick them by subcategories.
Yeah, like I'm picking this one in 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so Mike is my favorite in the kids. Will's up there for sure.
Yeah,
but
Mike
then
and
like
Will.
I have another character in the teens. I have another character in the adults. It's tough. It's a very hard life.
Okay, so now let's transition to.
Yes.
The numbers,
which are also kind of part of the kids group, but also not until the very last episode. 11 and 8.
Wow. 11. First of all, I love, well, that's part of after, but I love how nice she looked at the first scene. She was a kid.
Yeah.
I love that. I was like, oh, you came back from saving the world, killing a Demogorgon, and everything, and you're just like a kid eating waffles now.
Yeah.
I thought that was so nice.
Seeing her, like, come out of, I forgot, like, the scene, but, like, it's just, like, waffles, and she opens the door, and, like, Hopper goes into the cabin, and you're like, is that 11? Oh my god, it's gonna be 11. Oh my god, it's gonna be 11. It's 11! And it was like, yes.
Yeah.
And he gave her waffles, and it was cute.
But then her flashbacks of like how she's a survivor.
Yeah, so I was talking about this with a lot of people because a lot of people really dislike the fact that Hopper kept her from Mike for so long. And while I agree, I also think that she's actually in the wilderness by herself most of the year that takes place in between season 1 and 2. Her hair grows super long, and that takes a while. Hair doesn't grow instantly. And I think that's the really big tell that she was probably out there for at least half of that year. At least.
Yeah. I was thinking always like, okay, depending on her hair, she's probably out like 3-4 months. before really Hopper bringing her in.
Yeah. And just based on, like, her clothes and the fact that she, like, because she was in that outfit all of season 1.
Poor thing.
So, yeah, but I mean, like, she doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
The fact that she needed more clothes and, like, it was winter and, like, all this stuff was, like, really, like, okay, yeah, she's cold. She needs warm clothing.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so there's that. I also, in the trailers, I didn't care for her curly hair. And then when I saw it in the show, I fell in love with it.
I love it.
This is the cutest thing ever.
I think it was so cute, and I mean, her acting this season, her acting keeps getting better and better.
Oh, yeah.
She's really, really great at what she does. And it was cute to see her, like, in survivor mode, and then she didn't trust anybody until, like, the last, and I think it was mostly because it was Waffles. That she was like, okay, I can't trust this guy because he knows
He's giving me waffles. I understand now.
The child of Leslie, no. But it was super cute. So I really liked it.
I loved her tantrum.
Oh, I mean, I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is a typical day at work. But I'm like, Hopper, you need to do this, and that.
Yeah, man, and she's in her young teens, like, ooh, Hopper's got a lot in for him, man.
But that's what's cool about the show, that they don't lose the fact that these are kids.
Yeah.
And they go through tantrums, and even though she's gifted,
you're grounded. It's like, how are you gonna ground her?
I'm gonna unplug the TV. I thought that was awesome. But
that was like a heavy one too, because he knows that she goes to visit Mike with that.
Mm-hmm. So, and I love that the fact that even though she's trapped there, she's still looking for a connection with Mike, a connection with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what did you think of her mini arc that she had, going to go visit her mom and all that stuff?
I like the mom. I like the mom arc. I thought it was like something that maybe we needed to know for that character to keep on growing.
Yeah.
I thought the mom scene was intense.
I almost don't want the mom to be relevant anymore after what we saw.
I think like if she comes back, it's probably just like one tiny segment and that's it. Right. I don't see we needing her so much in the show.
I have fan desires that I want.
Because Joyce isn't gonna be a mom. Joyce and Hopper, and then Will and Jonathan,
and then there'll be step siblings, and then we get the Luke Leia relationship we always wanted. So I liked the arc with the mom a lot. I liked the little, like, sayings she had, like rainbow, flower, like whatever they were. I thought that was really cool, and then how they tied it all together and everything. But like that whole episode, I was just like really itching for 11 to join the group again. So then when it progressed into 8, I was like, this episode sucks.
Yeah, that's the only episode I did not like.
Same.
It didn't have a Stranger Things feeling.
Because they weren't in Hawkins, but like not even that. It was just like city life. Like, where was like the creepy upside down affecting stuff? Like, it was just weird.
And
it
also
was strange.
No, and I think I don't know. I'm usually, you know me. I'm usually, for me to hate something, it's really tough because I'm a lover of all things. But this episode did not. I was watching it, and I was with my husband, and I was like, okay, when is this gonna end?
It felt like so long, and it was just an hour, like the rest of the episodes. I understand that it's gonna connect to the next season, but I feel like they could have done it so much better.
The only part that I really liked about that whole arc and episode is the part where 8 is Yoda and she's training 11 to move the bus. And
I didn't even like that too much.
I did like it. I liked it because it was like, okay, you have your power and you don't only have to use it this way. Like, you can connect. I mean, it goes into Star Wars for me. Like, use the dark side.
So me too, and that's why I was thinking about it. There's another reference that I had in my head to that, and I don't remember what it is, but it's like 11 it might be Scott Pilgrim actually. So you know how in Scott Pilgrim he pulls out the first sword, it's like, you gain the power of love, blah blah blah, and then it's like, oh, that one was weaker than the self-respect. So I think it's gonna be like, that's what I picture 11 as. I don't picture her as like using anger to like really be her most powerful, because every time she's angry and using her power, it's not really anger that's getting to her, it's her need to protect the ones that she loves. So, not to sound cheesy as hell, but I want love to be her strength.
No, I totally get it. I get it. And I was like, oh, I don't want her to be in the dark side. But I like that she's able to tune into those emotions because it's also her way to like
cope.
Yes. Get over this. I don't know how to say that in English. But it's pretty cool, and I love the Papa scene. I mean, that's the only two things that I like was the Yoda part and the Papa scene because that was intense.
You could see her fear.
And then you can see, even though this is the guy that probably didn't treat her right, she still considers him family.
So, to note that, in Beyond Stranger Things, I think it's also the last episode, she talks to the Duffer Brothers about what Millie thinks of their relationship. And she thinks that, like, 11 actually loves Papa, like, as her Papa. And she even asked them, she's like, isn't Papa the first one who held 11? So she has a connection to him because that's the first person who held her as a baby. And they show that in the mother scene when she's going to flashbacks, that Papa instantly picks her up.
Yeah. And I don't doubt it because, I mean, as a psychologist, we know some people don't have the greatest parents and they're abusive, but they still love him.
Like Billy.
So it's the learned behavior. But, I'm sorry guys, I'm a little sick. But it's also, I love that part. Like, she's still a kid and she still needs that connection. She still needs that family. And that's why her relationship with Hopper is so, so great.
Oh my God, we're going to get to that because there's more. But this little section also brought back the question, is Papa still alive?
Which I do think so because when she goes to see the other guy before, she's like, he says, I can take you to him. Remember? The one that was bald?
The weird guy?
Yeah.
Murray?
No. The guy, they go with AIDS and the punk crew, and they see this guy that apparently was one of the security guards or something.
Oh, yeah.
He mentions, I can take you to him.
That's true. I'm really glad she didn't kill him, by the way.
I love that because that, even though it's anger, she's not in the dark side. Yes. So I like that. You can be able to play with those emotions.
Even before they showed that he had kids, I was like, don't do it. I felt bad for that guy.
Yeah. No, and you're working there. It's just like,
you don't know.
It's just like, I can go back to Clone Wars. I mean,
it's all the stormtroopers on the Death Star who got killed.
Look at Sabine. Sabine made it out of the academy. I mean, there's hope.
Yeah, and so, what do you think of 8? Just as a character.
I liked it. I liked her power. Her power is pretty cool.
Her power was cool.
I love the boom scene. That was a great start.
Yeah. Because I thought she actually did it, and then it was like, oh my God, she didn't do it. Crazy.
So that was like mind tricks.
Yeah. I was very confused watching that episode because when she wasn't standing next to 11 and something about the heels and the makeup and everything, I was like, oh, she's older for sure. And I know she's older because they showed it in the flashback. But when she stood next to 11, I was like, oh my God, she's just a kid. Like, you could see it in her face, you could see it in her height, like everything about her, like, body too. But like, they made her look like so much like an older girl that I was like very confused, and I wasn't a fan of her character design.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, not a huge fan, not like 11, but it also brings out like, okay, there's more like them, and this is somebody that I don't see why she became this way. Like, if you're treated that way and you get to escape and you have no discipline, you have no parents, you have nothing.
Yeah.
There's no, and with a huge mind control power,
and her little group is almost very like culty because they all like follow her and they believe in her and they do like what she wants to do, and it's like
they reminded me of that movie Choppy. The guys in there, I wasn't really a fan of them, but I mean, I can see why they're like that group.
Yeah, it was interesting. That's actually a very good comparison. It felt less like Stranger Things and more like Chappie. Like, that's what all of them were. They all were like the misfits that just like gang together, no matter their age, no matter like what their needs are and stuff.
And they're doing so much bad for a good cause, but they're just doing it the wrong way.
Right. I'm a number 9.
So it was interesting. Not a huge fan, but let's hope that
I know in my rewatch I will be skipping that episode. But
I'll try to watch it to see why it didn't work out for me.
Yeah. And I know I'll rewatch it once season 3 comes out. How about that?
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm just hoping that her character gets better. If the reason why is because she's coming back in season 3, I want to make sure that her character gets better.
You know what it could also be? The placement of the episode. The fact that it was the episode before she's supposed to go and meet everybody up. And the fact that the episode in its entirety was just focused on her, and the episode before was left on a super huge cliffhanger. So it could have been the placement.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It's just because we wanted 11 to go to
and
Mike.
And Mike.
So bad. So now we're going into the teens, which is...
Yes. Very, very... very difficult conversations.
It changed so much.
I'm gonna get really passionate on all of you very quickly.
And I think we're opposite teams this time.
Oh no!
Just kidding. I don't know. I am confused. But yeah,
I'll turn you over.
I loved the teen side this time. It changed a lot, and they mature. And Steve, man.
I mean, the teens in season 1 were actually like. All right. Disclaimer, I'm totally Team Jonathan. Completely. I never hated Steve. I still don't hate Steve. I love Steve. And I love Steve in season 1 too. But in like retrospect to Nancy, totally Team Jonathan. In retrospect to teens in general, Jonathan has been my favorite character since season 1.
Yeah. I love Jonathan.
Yeah. So just disclaimer for everything I'm about to say. I think they did really, really well with the transition from Nancy dating Steve to Jonathan. The way they handled it, I think in the fact that season 1 ended with her dating Steve, while upsetting to me as a fan, was also like a very good choice.
And it was relatable.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you're a teenager, you're not always going to pick the right guy. Because you want the popular guy. You want the bad guy. You
not
know?
the loser with no friends. Whose best friend is his brother.
I mean, you can relate as a girl. Looking back at your teenager years, like, you know.
Also, Nancy gets a lot of bad rep. But honestly, everything Nancy has done that has gotten her that bad rep is totally everything a teenager would do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, going to the party.
Getting
like saying,
wasted.
like, Barb, don't let me drink. Oh, I'm gonna drink. Like, that's totally a teenager thing to do.
Yeah.
So, I love Nancy. I like her better than Barb.
Me too.
We're gonna get, like, a lot of thumbs downs on this video.
No, I really like Nancy, and I think I love that she has the balls to do something about Barb,
yeah.
You know?
So, I think going into Steve versus Jonathan, disclaimer as well, I think Steve perfectly laid out his character in the terms of development with the one line that he said towards the end of season 2 of, I'm a shitty boyfriend, but I guess I'm a pretty great babysitter. Everything about that is so true to his character. In season 1, he's Nancy's boyfriend, the shithead. Excuse my language, but that is exactly what he is until the very end of the season when he comes back. Season 2, he's everything Nancy said she didn't want from season 1. The poster house, the wife staying in Hawkins. She specifically in that scene is like, screw this. I don't want to live here. I don't want to be a stay-at-home wife. And in the first episode of season 1, Steve specifically says, oh, maybe I'll just work here for my dad. You know, wait for you to go to college. We'll just have a normal life. And that's like everything that Nancy didn't want.
Yeah. I think that's a perfect explanation. And I also love watching beyond Stranger Things. I got it right this time. That was not a thing that was planned. That was something that the Duffer Brothers saw this guy transition and evolved, and they're like,
yeah,
okay.
He was a fan favorite at the end.
Yeah, and he was
John Ralphio.
and he was part villain. You know, he was part of the human villains in season 1.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
his friends in season 1 were assholes.
Mm-hmm.
And like I remember when he got into that, when he broke Jonathan's camera. I mean, we know how expensive a camera is, and we know what that is. So that was Jonathan's whole world, and he just didn't care.
But it's also cool because that also comes with age, you know, and teenagers we do dumb stuff. And
he's also the most popular guy in school.
Yeah.
Like, that's his character trope, and he's breaking out of it.
So I thought that was cool to see him transition, to see him caring for kids. I love that.
Yeah, and that, like I said, with that line that he's a pretty great babysitter, he's like the best babysitter. So
even giving advice, not the greatest sometimes, but he's at that age. That's the advice you give.
So I kind of hope in season 3 this whole Team Jonathan or Team Steve thing dissolves, and I kind of hope it's just like Steve's the babysitter and Jonathan's Will's brother.
And then another girl comes for Steve.
Yeah, or like not even, honestly. Like, he was great as just the babysitter. Like, he was perfect. And just like his relationship with Dustin again was just like perfect. And then with the rest of the kids, where he like tries to defend Max, even who he doesn't know at all, from Billy, and all this different stuff. And the fact that he's losing his King Steve title is like another thing. Man, Steve just had a lot of development this season.
Yeah. And he's so brave, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care about losing the king status. Like, now he cares more about love, because that drunk scene of her saying like that's BS for everything was like, whoa, that really hurt Steve. And it was like, oh, poor thing.
So like, poor thing to Steve in that season, and poor thing about the breakup and everything. But at the same time, Nancy was going through some insane shit. When you think about it, she's the only person from Stranger Things season 1 who lost anyone.
Yeah.
Jonathan, Joyce, and all the kids got Will back.
Yeah.
All the other kids, no 11's still alive. She's the only one who lost her best friend.
And she's going, and it's funny because even though they're talking about PTSD through Will, she's the one going through PTSD. She's the one going through grieving, and she's the only one that knows. I mean, she's one of the few that knows what really happens to Barb. And she has dinner with the parents, and
who
she's
don't know.
Exactly.
And she has to pretend like everything's okay.
Yeah.
Like, of course she's losing and breaking at the hinges. Like,
that's why I love that scene with the bathroom, with all Barb's pictures. And then she's like, I can't take it. I can't even look at it. I'm going to put it down. You know, I need to do something about it.
And the fact that Steve was like, just pretend like it doesn't exist, was like very, like a normal response, but also like a very selfish response. And I think that was like the breaking point. So her whole like, this is bullshit thing was true. And also her and Jonathan have this other connection that, exactly what she said, how come we always hang out when the world's ending. It's like, that's because you're there for each other when the world is ending.
But yeah. But also talking about Jonathan, I feel like even though he went through all of that in season 1, this is a character that at first didn't do much. Like, you know, it was like you're stuck there, and I get it because you're caring about your brother, but it's good for you to like let go as well, because when he's dropping off Will, and Will's, it's like, oh, come on, I'm the only one that has a babysitter. And then he was like, okay. And going to the party, I think, was a huge milestone for Jonathan.
Because he is a loser. He doesn't have any friends other than Nancy. Like, that's why she's like, what are you going to do? Go home and listen to the Talking Heads, which is an awesome band. Like, hello, Jonathan's the best character in the show. Anyway.
No, yeah. I think that was cool. And what I love the most is how their relationship was brought up.
Yes!
That detective was the best matchmaker in the world.
Murray. He totally like wingmaned the heck out of both of them. And also he pointed out some like actual flaws that both of the characters have. We never think about the dad thing because it doesn't really affect Will that much, but it like hardcore affects Jonathan. Yeah. And you see it throughout season 1. So
he's the man of the house, and I love that's why when they bring Bob into this season, he's like still not convinced.
That Will's instantly like, Bob's cool, I like Bob. And Jonathan's like, I don't know.
But that also comes with the age, because you get jealous. And it goes through a whole thing that I know from experience. So it's kind of like nice to see it that way too.
Yeah, I agree. And just like everything with him in this season in general, the fact that he's like super, super quick and willing to help out Nancy, and like everything was just like, yeah, obviously. Like, why is that even a question?
Yeah.
And, oh yeah, of course I drove you home when you were in need. It's like he's the one.
And nobody heard me, and I was able to drop you off in bed, and like nothing. I was like, what? I couldn't do that. I couldn't come home without my mom missing what time I'm coming home.
And and back to the scene with the exorcism in the cabin. the fact that like he instantly grabs onto her and like is like whole, like he's losing it. He's like seeing his like the person he loves the most in this world, his little brother, and like basically dying.
Yeah.
And just like all of his acting in that scene with Nancy was like amazing. It was quick, but really well done.
Yeah, the mom was stronger than the brother in that scene.
Yeah, and she
so...
had been since season 1, remember? She's like, that's not Will, that's not his body, and he's like, well, I'm gonna go plan a funeral. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. And then we have
Billy.
the villain.
Yeah, the villain character. Billy. Very interesting character. The actor did an amazing job, because I hated him the entire time. But...
that's what it was supposed to be.
Exactly, that's
I didn't know he was a Red Power Ranger.
I didn't either. I haven't seen that movie.
I love the mullet. It was so funny. So funny.
Just like the way he was the whole timeline. Like there were certain episodes where I was like, maybe he's not totally bad guy. Like when he would talk to Steve, but then like right after I would think that, he would say like a super jackass thing to him. And it's like, okay, never mind. Okay, you are. Okay, never mind. And it was back and forth.
Like, he's the typical one that really does care about the popularity contest, and he wants to be the king of the world. Why? Because he's seeking for that attention that he doesn't get from his father, which was a great scene because as a psychologist, I was like, oh, no wonder you're like this. It doesn't excuse the behavior, but it tells you like this is his backstory. This is why he's like that. You're still hating him. Yeah. But it's pretty cool.
So they also do this thing that I didn't notice until the very last episode when Max did it, but the dad did it to Billy too. Throughout the season, he tells Max like, what did you say? Say it again. And like he makes her repeat herself. And it's this whole like power thing. And then we see Billy's dad do it to him when he has him against the wall. And like it didn't click for me until Max had the bat and said, say it again. And it was like, oh, that's where it's from. Like, it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a dysfunctional family. I mean, I can't believe the woman is standing there not doing anything. But also, it's not his kid. It's not her kid. So it's like that battle of, like, you can't pass that line because I guess it's very recent. But I think he did a great acting. And yes, you hate this character, even though you know why. Mm-hmm. You hate him. And I hated how he treated Max, and that holding her wrist scene was intense. I was like, I want to punch you.
That was they chose to do that. That wasn't in the script.
I saw that after it, but it's incredible to see this little girl also reacting to those powerful scenes, and it's also like, the show is bringing stuff from real life, and it's pretty cool to see because it needs to stop.
I had a crazy theory. It wasn't even a theory. It was just like when I was watching the show, at the first couple episodes, they talked a lot about Russian spies. And then when they were introduced, like the first time that we really see them talking in the car together, like alone, he was like, and you know that like we're here because of you, not me. This is all your fault. And it kind of made it seem like there was some kind of issue where they lived prior. So I thought they were going to be like something more.
Well, I thought she was going to have powers.
Me too.
Because when he said that, I'm like, okay, so she's also part of the numbers. Like, what is she? But then it was like, no, she's just a regular kid.
Right.
That has a lot of issues behavior-wise, but she's just a normal kid.
And I thought so, too, because he was like, I'm not your brother, and you know that. So I was like, oh my god, are they, like, pretending to be family, and this is, like, Russian spies? I don't know, like...
They did pretty good. Well, I mean, the first scene that we see of them dressing up as Ghostbusters and Dustin looking back, I thought the whole time he was either seeing a monster or seeing Eleven. They made it so, and it's just like, oh no, nobody's dressed up. Yeah. So those were cool things that the show throws out to you to like confuse you, and that was incredible.
They did really well with that, and Billy was really cool. My favorite scene with him is definitely Mrs. Wheeler.
Oh my goodness, that is so hilarious.
That's so good.
So hilarious. But then Mr. Wheeler is so...
Honestly, Mrs. Wheeler, you go. Go look up with
No, she... That's
your romance book.
No. Well, that will be a great transition to our adults club. Because there's so much... Bob, there's so much things going on. I mean, starting with Joyce.
She's great. Incredible. She's like, best mom award.
But I like that it started with her having like a normal life. Like she's working in her store and that, blah blah. But then she's also
Samwise Gamgee.
But she's she's also going crazy because now this whole new thing and nobody believes her, and they're talking about stuff that she doesn't even understand. So and her character is crazy.
Yeah, and I actually really liked her relationship with Bob. At first I was like, oh, she's not with Hopper? What is this? Who is this guy? And I thought Bob was gonna kind of be evil, and I'm glad he wasn't, because he was just the superhero who was the best. But I thought their relationship was very wholesome.
I thought it was just like, yeah, it was like a normal...
She needed it.
Yeah, she needed that. He completed her. In those sense, and the times where, that scene where they're like all watching a movie was like, oh look, we're a normal family again.
Yeah, like picking movies or something, right?
Yeah, and it's so funny that he's the one like, don't pick the scary movies. I would be like that, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
And he was like, Mr. Mom, fantastic. This is really cute the whole time. And his whole thing of like figuring out the puzzle, and that he's like, is there a prize? Is there some treasure there?
Yeah,
Goonies reference.
No questions.
Yeah. That scene was really well done, where he's like, oh, and this is this, and like he just started geeking out about it instead of like being concerned.
But I love that he's the founder of the AV Club.
That was also
I really love that connection to like, oh, look who we brought, the OG.
Yeah.
Like that, I love that.
Speaking of AV Club, Mr. Clark.
Oh,
he was so cute.
He's such a great guy, and he really inspires. I love how he introduces Maxine.
Oh.
Mad Max.
Dustin, drum roll please.
Yeah, I love that scene. That was pretty cool.
I love that Dustin calls him, yes, my lord. It's like, what?
But I like that his relationship with this kid, and like he mentions it in Beyond the Stranger Things. He's like, oh yeah, they're the only ones that pay attention to me, and it's true. But it's a cool relationship.
I actually hope he stays out of the loop.
Yeah,
and just keeps answering their questions, but like out of the loop, because so
like
that way he's safe.
Yeah,
he's great.
And then, well, we talked about Bob.
Yeah, so I guess we could go to Dr. Owens, who's he kind of seems like he's going to be an antagonist because he's part of, Papa's group and everything. But then he turns out to be like a really just good guy.
I know. I love that change because the whole time you're hating him, and the whole time where he's like really rewatching the tape, it's like he really wants to figure out what is going on, but you see it as like, oh, he's lying.
Yeah, like we think he's like part of the bad guys.
Yeah.
And, like gonna take 11 and like all that stuff, but he's like just trying to help Will.
Because I love that scene where he's in the round table or in the room, and he's like, no guys, like, it's not about killing him. It's like really figuring out he's a kid. I feel like that's the moment where you're like, oh, he's really good.
Yeah. That scene, and when he stays behind to help Bob get through.
Sacrifice.
That sacrifice.
Yeah. Because he doesn't make it.
Yeah. Oh, he does. Yeah, he's seen at the end later on.
No, I know, but like all wounded.
You're right. Yeah. And he's wounded. Well, remember in like the last scene, Hopper meets him at the bar.
Oh, that's true. I know. I forgot. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, like I want to make a deal and get a
he has the thing in the arm. Yeah,
go for it.
That's true.
Which is really nice. Back to Bob though. We didn't talk about his death.
Oh my goodness.
That was painful.
I mean, the whole in the beginning scene, they show you that he's gonna die. So I was ready for it.
What do you mean?
Like it gives you little clues.
Okay.
Like how he was the superhero and how he talks, and then like him giving, him taking the road. Like you don't know what you're gonna do over there, flipping things. Like I'm gonna do it. You're like, ugh. After the whole Jurassic Park scene with the computers running out, I was like, you're gonna die.
And also the fact that he he freaking stopped running. Just don't stop and run. I know Joyce is beautiful, but like, admire her later when you're safe and there's not demodogs coming to eat you.
Demodogs, that's a great name.
It was. I actually called them that like an episode before Dustin.
Oh, wow.
Like, they're like dogs, demodogs. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, just like that scene was intense because like you saw the teeth mark in him, and it's like, oh man, that's such a cool like attention to detail.
Yeah.
And it's not just like bite marks. It's like the flower marks, and it's like, oh, kind of gross, but also really cool.
No, and it pissed me off how Joyce was just standing there.
I mean,
shocked.
What could she do?
It was like, run! You're not gonna get killed.
Well, I think that's why I think she couldn't run, because like he was still alive at that point.
Yeah.
And I mean, even Hopper came in and didn't run instantly. He like tried shooting it, and it still didn't work. I personally think they should have done like something really extreme, and Hopper should have shot him because it was too late.
You're going Walking Dead style?
Walking Dead style. Where it was like, like get him out of his misery, but still.
No. I mean, I like the way he died because he died for a cause, and it
That's
was
true.
like, it was the aliens, creatures, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
that
and Will gave him a really nice homage at the end with the superhero thing on the wall. That was really nice.
And his scene with Will to tell him like, get out of here, like stop it. I thought that was incredible. That was what got him in trouble, but that was incredible.
Apparently, in that scene, they were gonna do something totally different, where Will was gonna be evil, and Will was gonna kill Bob. Like in the very, very, very original script idea, that was like the plan.
You see, I like this better.
I like this a lot better.
Because Will's still a kid.
Exactly.
He got
possessed
by aliens, but it's not that.
Right. So, And then the main. Well, I guess we could talk about Murray and save the best for last. Murray did a really good job. We already mentioned it, but like he convinced me of a lot of things with the Russian spies.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, the Russian spy. Where are they?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
I loved his intro scene with Hopper.
Yeah,
I thought it was so cool because he got his attention, but then it was just like,
Hopper knows everything. Like I think if it wasn't Hopper, it would make sense, but it is Hopper.
Yeah.
So I also really like the whole like analogy for water it down with the alcohol, because I'm like, yeah, man, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, but I love that he's crazy. I mean, he's paranoid about all this stuff, and it makes sense because it's supernatural stuff, so
exactly.
It's not like something you can understand.
It's not the Russian spies.
And then we have my favorite adult, Hopper. Hopper was the best. I mean,
he was great this season.
And his character did develop a lot. So like the caring side, and it was so beautiful because I loved his relationship with Eleven and how he cared so much about her, and it was like the daughter that he lost. And
that's the thing. 11 lost a dad. Hopper lost a daughter. Boom.
Perfect.
There's actually like a really cute little thing that they did in that I'll just mention really quickly. In season 1, when they show Sarah flashback, she has a pigtail on, right? And it's a little blue ribbon. Later in that same sequence, when she's already lost her hair from the cancer treatments, he's wearing basically something like this in blue. It's her hairband. In the end of the season, in the snowball sequence, 11's wearing it.
I noticed that now you're saying, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
No, but I love that he really does care about her because he ended up, even like when we see the sisters talk, he ended up going to see 11's mom. So he did the whole research and he was like, oh yeah, your mom is gone. I mean, he actually didn't say like she's dead, but she was really gone to like to like the normal sense of like, yeah, she's not in her good state. So, but I love the parenting. I love that he was like, oh well, I'm gonna eat M&Ms and candy and get fat here. Like
I'm gonna make the Eggo super castle thing, whatever they called it, and
which I want to try.
Yes,
we should have made it for the show.
We'll do it.
But that was super cool, and his character the whole time caring so much about Will, even though he doesn't really have to.
That's his future stepson, I mean.
But and then him figuring out the whole pumpkin situation was really cool.
Indiana Jones to the max.
Yep.
That, like, I was saying it, I'm like, man, this is so Indiana Jones, oh my god. And then he did the hat thing.
Yes.
And I was like,
there you go, boom.
Can you make it more obvious?
Because
Duffer Brothers.
Spielberg, the best.
That scene was great. And just, like, you really see his not development, but in season 1, we know that Joyce and Hopper knew each other back when they were younger. But in this, you really see it. Yeah, you see their history. Like, were they a couple? Were they friends? Like, what were they in high school that made them share cigarettes?
Yeah. It also goes back to, like, I feel like they were also outcasts.
Probably.
They were, like, skipping school and
maybe
they didn't care.
They were the Nancy and Jonathan.
Yeah.
Because Bob says, like, I'm dating Joyce.
Yeah, so she was probably the pretty girl. Maybe not the popular Grease type of girl, but she was, like, out there.
I mean,
like,
Winona Ryder.
She's the best.
She's beautiful.
But it was pretty cool to see that. And Hopper does amazing. He's acting with 11 at that end scene where he's shooting all the demagogues, and then 11 is Vader choking. I mean,
super.
I know, it's like anything Vader. I was like, oh, she's the best.
And then he like the way he like consoled her was like, you did so good. You did so good. I was like,
oh, and the radio transmission and all the little codes that they have for each other.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out what the Morse code was for the knocking, because whatever. But it's either, what was it? It's either us, the word us. Or
here?
No, it's not here, which is weird. But it's either us or I think the other one was it is. It's one of those two. And I don't know what they mean, but whatever.
Yeah. I didn't see it as Morse code. I just saw it like, this is the knocking.
Oh, maybe that is it. But I think, when I heard it the first time, I was like, oh my god, that's Morse code. And then, I think in Beyond, they talked about the fact that it was Morse code.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I haven't caught up to those. But I love the fact that he's protecting her. And I am not mad about him keeping 11 for so long.
I'm not either. I think it makes sense. He's protecting her. He's scared, and so is she. Like, the bad men are around.
Yeah. So,
and Mike's reaction to finding out, and like just like that moment when he's like, it's okay, kid, it's okay, and like Mike's just beating him up and he's like, yeah, I deserve this.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's so beautiful. It's really, and the fact that he's the one that picks up on a lot of things, and he's the one that goes to the vines. It's amazing. And
that car scene with 11 and him when like right after she comes back and they're driving to the place or whatever, and just like bitching. It's like, oh,
it's so cute. Which we didn't talk about what you thought about 11's.
I wasn't a crazy big fan. I liked the outfit. I missed her curly hair, but I really didn't like the makeup at all. I don't know, it was like 80s and punk or whatever, but I was like, if they wanted to go for a bitchin' look, they could have done a lot better.
I didn't like the makeup, but I'm not a fan of so much makeup, but I did like the outfit.
Okay.
So,
I definitely was a bigger fan of her overall look. As like silly as it was.
Yeah.
It was cute, and that was kind of like the point, like I think like the cute but like will mess you up look was way cool.
But I love that they go back to that cute with the snowball.
Yes.
Because that snowball was beautiful.
Yeah.
And the kissing scenes are like so cute.
They were really good.
I love that they made them
really
innocent.
comical. Yeah, that they were like innocent kisses because they're kids.
Yeah.
So I love that in Stranger Things, Mike actor admitted to like mouthing the words I'm coming in,
and then they show it.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my god.
And the Duffer Brothers were like, really? We needed to edit that. I think that was amazing, and the fact that Max and Lucas were very nervous about the kids was so
Lucas was so excited. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get my first kiss today.
And it was his first kiss, so it was pretty cool. And I forgot to mention this before. I love what Nancy does for it.
Yes,
that was like,
oh man,
yes,
that was another scene that I wanted to cry in, but
I cried.
Yeah, the fact that she came up to him and like we could see it from season 1 that he had like a different relationship with Nancy than like Lucas or Will did. So it was like really, really well done.
That was so cute. That was really, really cute.
What a good girl she is too.
And then talking about the ugly stuff, the upside downers. I know you have way more to talk about me. Talk about me.
So Mind Flayers. I was waiting the entire season for a D&D reference, and I'm sad that I had to wait till the last episode, but I'm also really glad that I did, because Mind Flayer makes complete sense for this choice. Not in 5th edition, which is the current D&D edition, because in 5e, Mind Flayers are controlled by the Elder Brain, so this creature would have been the Elder Brain if we were talking 5e. But in 1st edition, everything that they said about Mind Flayers being, like losing their planet, being the ones controlling all these other realms and thinking everything's insignificant, like the Germans, no, the Nazis. Yeah, that is super accurate. And it is very, intellectual. So it's more about, brain, they literally eat brains, basically. They have these weird tentacle things. It makes sense that they chose that name for this creature. It's also one of the hardest monsters to beat. Yeah, they're pretty intense. And they do mind control stuff. Like, they do that. So, like, everything about it was just, like, very accurate, very on point. And I was really, really happy with that choice.
I love that it was an intelligent creature. You know, that it wasn't just like I'm gonna eat everything alive zombie.
Right.
Like, you know, no, like, I like that this was like, it had is purpose.
And that's how mind flayers are.
So I really like that. I mean, I've only played D&D once and got killed really fast. But so I didn't know as much as you did. So but it was pretty cool. Like, even as a person that doesn't know so much about D&D, the way they explain it, you're like, oh, that totally makes sense. And that's why you need to defeat it this way. And covering everything so he doesn't know. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, definitely. I played in a whole little story arc that, like, mind flayers were the main villains going on. And, I remember just, like, every other villain that I have gone through, it's like, oh, you have to do a strength check because you're fighting a bear. You have to do a charisma check because you're trying to do this. You have to do a dexterity check because you're jumping out of the way of a fireball. But with these guys, almost every single attack was an intelligence check because they were making sure that you had to, like, outsmart them. That was literally what it was.
I love that. I love everything that's puzzle piece related. Like, you know, it's not easy to just kill the monster. No, you have to do this and go this way.
Right. So it wasn't like the Demogorgon who you literally just, like, set on fire and, like, kill.
Super cool.
Definitely. I was a big fan.
And the music in the show overall was great.
Every song was, like, super. Love is a battlefield. Everything was perfect.
Yeah.
Like, not even to mention, like, the actual, like, scoring of the, like, stereotypical, like, the Stranger Things music, but, like, the 80s music that they used, too, was
even from the snowball, everything, it tied in perfectly.
Would you like to mention that snowball thing?
The song?
Yes.
So I was watching Beyond Stranger Things and listening to Dustin, the actor, I don't remember his name now, talk about every step you take. What's the name of the song?
I'll be watching.
I'll be watching you. The song. He says, like, oh, it's so creepy, and it was so cool to see the kids relating to that song. When I grew up, like, listening to that song, and I always thought it was kind of like, oh, it's so romantic. And then I listened to it, it's like, oh no. Like, I totally see what he saw, but it was just a perfect song to put on the show and all the 80s soundtrack.
And to have that song be the song playing right before the Mind Flayer is looming over. He's always watching every step you take. Like,
it's creepy.
Yeah, and the fact that he's, like, right there. It's like, oh man, he's close.
But no, that was pretty cool. That was pretty interesting. So if you haven't watched Beyond Stranger Things, I always want to say Star Wars.
Yeah, I know.
Do it. I have to finish watching it, but it's super cool.
Great. Also, as another side note for music stuff, Spotify did character playlist, and you take, like, a quiz. It's based on your already existing library if you have one. And I got Jonathan, of course.
Oh,
and
my goodness, what would I get?
I don't know. Max, maybe? A lot of people are getting Mad Max.
I should do it.
You should.
Because, but I listen to random. Like, I could go from Queen to, like, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
So you never know.
That's the thing. So it's weird, but, like, and they do throw in random stuff every, like, here and there. And it's just, the playlists are really good. Like, all the names for Wills are, like, Don't You Forget About Me, I'll Be Seeing You, like, just, like the song titles are, like, It's Cold, Cold, Cold Here, Left Alone, like, all, like, music of, like, him in Upside Down.
So, yeah, don't listen to it if you're depressed.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, but they're really good. I've listened to the Jonathan playlist so many times, like, these last couple weeks, and it's just, like, music that I really like, and then, like, music that I found because of the playlist that I really like.
That's cool.
And it does, like, this really cool thing where, like, the track bar for, like, the music will, like, have this spotlight and, like, the snow falling, like, if you're in the Upside Down listening to it. They did really well.
That's cool. So now moving on, we had some questions.
Yeah. So we already answered both of these kind of, but just to restate them. Monica asked us if we were Team Steve or Team Jonathan. You can choose to answer first.
I don't know. I like them both. It's really hard. Like, I do like Jonathan for Nancy right now, but I personally would go for Steve.
Like you.
Like, not Nancy.
Yeah. Like, Anna would go for Steve.
Anna.
Julie would go for Jonathan. Or Steve. No, Jonathan.
So I'm separated this time.
Yeah, I'm Team Jonathan because I want Jonathan and Nancy together. Because I'm pretty sure the team Jonathan or Steve is like in regards to Nancy.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
But I love Steve. It's just Jonathan's my favorite character.
Yeah, totally good.
I hope this dissolves one day. I hope it's not Steve or Jonathan, but Steve and Jonathan.
Reunited to Bill.
Yes.
Okay. What was the second question?
From Brandy, it was Dart and Dustin's relationship. Could Dart be trusted?
I thought that was interesting that he stopped.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it was like in all those movies that you think that the creature is tame, but it's not.
Right.
So
he's one of the Three Musketeers.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious that the freaking demo dog ate candy.
Yeah.
I thought that was like, oh, thank you, Duffer Brothers. Like,
I loved it. I also really appreciated their relationship from the whole thing. Like, Dart trusted Dustin. It's just, Dart ate his cat. That's kind of messed up, dude. You don't do that. And, but I think that was definitely, like, the downfall. But I don't think Dart would have hurt Dustin. Everybody else, sure. But I don't think he would have hurt Dustin. If the Demo Dogs... Okay, so another question for you. Do you think that the Demo Dogs would have gone through another transformation and become Demogorgons? Because that's what I thought. I thought they were still developing.
Yeah, because we see him growing from Dart with the thing growing the legs.
Yeah, he looked like a tadpole.
And then when we see the Demo Dog, when 11 is having him against the wall, he has weird... Like, his arms are not really looking. Like, it's more like legs. So I do feel like they would
and
evolve.
You can see the chest kind of looks like the Demogorgon. So I think there was going to be like another evolution.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, do you think he could be trusted?
No. I mean, I think like if he would grow up more, he would forget.
Yeah, I agree with that. So. I think it's that whole... They reminded me, I thought they were referencing the Gremlins. Because that's like exactly what it reminded me of.
Yes, that's true.
So good. We forgot to mention while we were explaining our setup, Anna's wonderful 11 Demogorgon poster.
Brian Reedy, he's so great. I have a couple of work from him, and
not
he's
sure
great. I love that. It's from the first season. So if you guys want to check out his Etsy shop, Brian Reedy, I'll post the link. Just a little side note. And then we did some little poll questions.
Yeah. Well, Anna did on her Instagram. Which we should probably start doing more because that's pretty
I just
popular.
thought about it this morning.
Yeah, that's cool.
But, okay, so I'll let you read the second one. But the first one was I posted what was favorite 11 look. And I had Pretty and Bitchin'. And Pretty got 29% and Bitchin' got 71%. So
I voted for Pretty.
Me too.
Yeah.
But it was pretty interesting that it wasn't like not even 80%, you know? And I mean, I only had like almost like 35 people because I really did it like 2 hours before we recorded. But it's interesting to see it at the end of the day. I'll post the last results.
Okay.
At the end of the day to see if it's something changes.
Yeah. And then she did a Team Steve or Team Jonathan post.
And you can read them.
Oh no. So sad. No. Steve got 58% and Jonathan got 42%.
I'm just kidding. Maybe it'll change. I mean, let me check right now. Like,
alright, we're gonna check again.
We're gonna check again right now. Oh my god.
But at least because Jonathan's coming back up again. He's
so you see, I have to wait. How do I go back? Okay, so here. So right now we have 73% Bitchin' and Pretty is at 31%. So both are, 27, I'm sorry.
27?
So it went down.
Yeah.
And then for Team Jonathan, we have 42, and then Team Steve's 58. Oh, so
that was the same still. Okay. Well, thank you to the questions, and thank you to everybody who voted on that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, we already talked about the snowball and how cute it was. I did want to mention that, just as a little side note, we mentioned this already, Max and Lucas, they were each other's first kiss. And so was Mike and 11 in season 1.
That's cute.
It's so cute. I love them.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our first Outer Rim episode.
Hopefully we'll be doing this once a month.
Yes. Well, maybe do a poll to see
what our next theme should be. I'm down for that.
And then, guys, we created a Patreon. So if you guys want to check it out, we'll post the link so you guys can support our shows because our next improvement will be mics.
Yes, and we'll be all like cool and professional now and be like,
so the sound is better on iTunes. But yes.
That's so far it, I think. And we're working on a logo. Well, yeah, that's it. We're working on a logo. Yeah, there's no other information about that.
I think the next episode for Roundtable Pod Wrestlers Star Wars Edition will be season 3 of Rebels.
Yes, that
so
sounds about
that's
right.
The one coming up. So stay tuned because we're loving this season, and I don't want to see it lose because Wolf. And, so yeah.
We hope you liked our Stranger Things episode, and if you really like this, we can have more Stranger Things episodes that have less content, but you know, they'll be cool and fun anyway. And yeah, so I think that's it today, right?
Yes.
So we can't say may the force be with you, so we have to think of a different quote. So stay bitchin'.
Bye.